Hi everybody, my name is Ambika and today we will going to discuss the most difficult topic of English grammar and that is tenses. So I think most of us are literally petrified, when I was in school, at least I was, with the topic tenses. But with continuous readings and let's just say with continuous writing, I have somehow managed to understand the topic. So from my understanding, I will going to help you how we can make this difficult topic very easy, right? So let's begin with tenses part 1. Now before beginning with the topic, I want to tell each one of you about Unacademy. So on this particular app, you can meet the India's best top educators, and they are just like a mouse click away, and you can ask any of your questions when it comes to your academic related questions, and therein you will going to solve many MCQs questions. Along with that, there'll be mock tests similar to our exams which we get in our schools. In a very similar way, there will be exams conducted here also, where you can evaluate yourself, where do you stand in class. Along with that, there will be questions on the basis of each topic, right? So let's just say one of our topics is very easy and that is my forte, so I don't need to work really hard on that. But with the results of the test, I know that I have to work really hard on this particular topic. So therein you can re-watch many educators' videos there, and with that, your topic will going to be very easy, right? So for that, you can use my code, which is AMBIKA, and with that, you will going to get a discount, right? So do avail the services and do download the app. Now, you know what tenses are, right? So the tense of a verb shows the time of an action or event. So basically, why do we discuss tense? It is just because we want to know in what particular time, right, an action or an event took place. Like, did it take place right now, a few minutes back, or it will going to take place in future? So you want to know at what time, right? You have done an activity. So you know you are talking about past. You are planning to do something. So that is, you have a plan, right? You have not executed it yet. So you have a plan for future, right? You will going to use future tense for that. So if you want to discuss about any of the actions or events, you need to know the time. And with that, in English grammar, there are different verbs as in with different ways you will going to show about which particular time you are talking. All right. Now, this lecture is specifically about present tense. The later lectures will be about past tense and future tense. Alright, so this video will going to revolve around all the types of tenses, right? That is present tense. The subcategories of present tense will also be discussed here. Now, a verb denotes an action or be or possession. So what does actually a verb discuss? It talks about any of the action, or if you have something with you, or if you hold something, like you possess something, you have the ownership of any of the nouns, right? So in all those cases, we use verbs, right? So these verbs will going to denote, they will going to tell us, are you speaking about an action, about a being, or about a possession? Here, for example, the guard showed the red flag, right? So what did the guard do? The guard showed, right? So did a he did here an action that was showing the red flag. Clear? So what is the action here? Showing, like he showed the red flag. Whatever activity you do, with that we come to know that we were talking about any of the, we have to use their verbs, right? Second, Jay hit the ball hard, right? So Jay is somebody who has hit the ball very hard. So what did he do? He did an action here. उसने एक action किया है, that उसने ball को बहुत जोर से hit किया है. So ball is what? Noun. J is what? Noun. The is what? Determiner. Hit is what? It is verb. Because हमने कोई एक activity की है. और हमने वो क्या एक्टिविटी की है, हमने बॉल को हिट किया है, right? Second is Madhu is intelligent. So we are talking about somebody's intelligence, right? That talks about being, right? What somebody holds in herself or himself. Dickens was a great storyteller. Charles Dickens, the very famous, prolific English writer, right? So it is about that he was a great storyteller. Now, here, teller is your verb, right? I have a beautiful diary. So you possess a diary, right? So you have it. Have, right? I have a beautiful diary. So you have a possession of a diary there, right? Next is a cow has four legs, right? So herein you are talking about like the cow is having. This can also be part of being as well, right? So some verbs like know, remember, like, trust, etc. suggest states of mind rather than action. तो कुछ words होते हैं जिन्हें हम बोलते हैं action words और कुछ verbs होते हैं जिन्हें हम बोलते हैं non-action verbs. We will discuss in detail what are these. But अभी के लिए हम सिर्फ इतना जान सकते हैं action verbs are those in which some activity is being taken place. You are voluntarily doing something and it is visible also, right? Now, the present tense of be, right? So here we will discuss about the present tense of be. Be is used in two ways. It is used as the main verb. It is also used as an auxiliary. Auxiliary का मतलब क्या होता है? Auxiliary means helping verb, right? So main verb or auxiliary verb help करते हैं to form other tenses, right? Let's check it out how. He is happy, right? What it says he is happy. It is a form of be. So is, if you can see is here, that is a form of happy, right? In this sentence, be has been used as the main verb. So हमने यहाँ पे is को use किया है as main verb. For example, he is playing, right? It says he is playing. So in this sentence, the verb is playing. So be has been used as an auxiliary verb to another tense. तो यहाँ पे हमारा verb क्या है? Playing, right? एक action हो रहा है that he is playing. एक action verb भी है. So with is we are actually what did we do with is? हमने यहाँ पे is को एक auxiliary के form में use किया है, right? And playing क्या है हमारा? That is actually our action verb. Clear? Okay. Be has the same form whether it is used as the main verb or as an auxiliary verb. So it can be used as both. I am sorry, ma'am, I am late, said Megha. Right? So Megha is entering into a class and then she says to her ma'am that ma'am, I'm sorry, I am late. You are usually late, said the teacher. Then, as she looked around the class, she said, where is Amrita? Is she also late? Right? You have to check about the be form, be verbs here, right? Amrita, who was sitting on the last bench, said, no, ma'am, I am not late. I am in time. But Vipul is late. So they all are present tense of the verb be. Wherever we have used is, am, and are, there we have come to know that they all are type of verb be. Clear? Now present tense of have. We have to know be and have if we want to discuss tenses in detail. हमें ये दोनों ही पता होने चाहिए अगर हमें tenses को बहुत ज़्यादा depth में जानना है. Like be, have also can be used in two ways. So just like be, have can also be used as main verb or as an auxiliary verb. When used as a main verb, it expresses possession. और जब ये have एक main verb की तरह काम करता है, तब हम यहाँ पे हमें वहाँ पे possession का expression दिखता है. For example, I have a pen, right? So you have a pen with you, right? तो आप वो पेन possess करते हैं. You have the ownership of that pen. But I do not have any paper, said Mona. Then she turned to Anurag. Do you have any paper? But both Anurag and Tina said, we have plenty, but we have no pens. We can give you paper if you give us pen, right? Sepika said, I don't think Mona has a spare pen. If she gives you her pen, what will she do with the paper? So herein, what is the whole story about? Mona is asking. Mona first of all told everybody that I have a pen but I don't have a paper. Then she asked to Anurag and Tina and Anurag, they both replied that we have plenty of papers but unfortunately we don't have any pens. On this, Sepika said that, you know what, Mona has a spare pen. Mona, I mean, she doesn't have a spare pen. If she gives you her own pen, what will she do with the paper, right? So here we have talked about the possession of pen as well as of paper, right? What we have talked here as the auxiliary verb have is being used here as to show the possession of any of the objects, be it a pen or a paper. Now, simple present tense talks about time in the present time, right? In the present scenario. The simple present is just the base form of the verb. Whatever verb we will going to use there, right? Whatever verb we will going to use there, with that we have to use the base form of the verb, right? What we have to use? We have to use the base form of the verb, right? Questions are made with do and negatives are made with do not. Okay? For example, you speak Sanskrit, right? It says you speak. Speak is the base form of the verb, right? Do you speak Sanskrit? It's a question. You do not speak Sanskrit. That is a negative statement. So we have to use base form of the verb जब हम सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस की बात कर रहे हैं. हम एक सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस के लिए क्या चाहिए? एक सिंपल बेस फॉर्म चाहिए. ओके. इन द थर्ड सिंगुलर, in the third person singular, s or es is added. Questions are made with does and negatives are made with does not. So when you're talking about a third person singular, right? He. So he speaks English, right? Question will become, does he speak English? Or negatives will become, he does not speak English. Are we clear? It makes sense to each one of us now. हम जब भी किसी भी थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर की बात करेंगे तब हमें s और es का यूज करना पड़ेगा, राइट? ओके. नाउ सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस के हमें यूजेस चेक करने हैं. Where all we can use the base form of the verb, right? कहाँ कहाँ पे हमें base form of the verb use करना है. अगर आप कोई idea to express the idea that an action is repeated or usual, आप किसी एक action की बात कर रहे हैं जो कि बहुत ज्यादा repeat होता है या फिर it is like usual कि वो repeat होता ही रहता है, that is like a very repetitive activity. और वो एक्शन कोई भी हैबिट हो सकती है, आपकी आपकी हॉबी हो सकती है, कोई एक इवेंट हो सकता है, राइट? which is taking place regularly, वो एक इवेंट डेली हो रहा है without a failed attempt, right? a scheduled event, already वो schedule हो चुका है फ्यूचर में, बट हम उसमें प्रेजेंट टेंस, सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस का ही यूज करेंगे. ओके. और समथिंग दैट ऑफन हैपेंस, ये तो हमें पता चल ही गया कि कोई भी एक्शन अगर रिपीटेडली हो रहा है, यूजुअली हो रहा है, ज्यादातर हो रहा है, लगातार हो रहा है, that time you will going to use simple present tense. Not just about something happening now, but rather all the time. So this is something really important. सिर्फ ये नहीं चेक करना है कि वो अभी हो रहा है. इनफैक्ट हमारी कोई भी हॉबी होती है, कोई भी हैबिट है, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो अभी अभी के लिए है and it will not be there tomorrow. It will be there, right? So with all those scenarios, you have to use simple present tense, and you already know with simple present tense हमें बेस फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब का यूज करना है। तो हम किसी भी एक्टिविटी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं जो कि बहुत रेगुलर इंटरवल पे हो रही है। अदरवाइज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी ऑफ द हैबिट्स और द हॉबीज। अलॉन्ग विद दैट इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी स्केड्यूल्ड इवेंट, एक ऑलरेडी इवेंट है जो कि स्केड्यूल्ड है, राइट, और कोई भी चीज बहुत रेगुलर इंटरवल पे हो रही है, we have to use the base form. In that, we're going to use simple present tense. Okay? Now, we will check out each one individually. All right? I do yoga every day. Right? So, this person is saying that I do yoga every day. So, without a failed attempt, this person performs yoga. Right? So, this is a regular happening. ये एक activity है जो कि which is taking place every day, right? I play baseball every day. So this is like an activity again which you are doing every day without a failed attempt. I take sitar lessons every day. Again, so these all are the activities which are taking place, right? Do, play, take, right? These all are what? The base form of the verb, right? That is why if we are doing something regularly on a very regular basis, we have to use simple present tense. Clear till now? With what all? हम किसी भी हैबिट, किसी भी हॉबी, कोई भी स्केड्यूल इवेंट है या फिर एक कोई भी चीज है विच वी आर डूइंग एट अ रेगुलर इंटरवल और वो बहुत ही उसी फ्रीक्वेंसी से वो होती जा रही है, that time we will going to use simple present tense. Now, with scientific facts or general truths, I mean which you can't even change, okay? वो scientific facts होते हैं, I mean like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, right? So that is a scientific fact, okay? Honesty is the best policy, is, that is a general truth, okay? So कोई भी scientific fact होता है और कोई भी general truths होते हैं, उन दोनों ही केसेस में हमें यूज करना है सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस। और सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस का यूज करने का मतलब क्या है, दैट हमें वी हैव टू यूज द बेस फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब। Dogs like bones, right? It says dogs like bones. Clear? Crocodiles do not like milk. All right? It says crocodiles do not like milk, right? So these are, I mean, a general fact about dogs and the crocodile. Now, New York is not in the United Kingdom. Where is it? It's in US, right? It's in USA. Now, herein we are talking about the facts. Nobody can change it, right? I mean, dogs genuinely loves these bones, right? Crocodiles, I mean, are they vegetarian by any chance? Are they herbivorous? Okay, I have some doubts over that, right? New York is in the United Kingdom. So next is United Kingdom. के अंदर there is no place called as New York, but there is York. Okay. Windows are made of glass. So generally, windows are made up of glass. Goa is a small city. So at least in India, oops, it's a small state. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have made a mistake there. Right. Goa is a smallest state. It doesn't rain much in Rajasthan, right? So these all are the general truths or the basic facts about each one of the things. Okay? Now, a future event which is pre-planned or as a part of a fixed timetable or schedule. So एक कोई भी event है which is already pre-planned, वो already planned है, right? और वो एक fixed timetable or schedule का part है, in that also you will going to use simple present tense. Why? Because herein you have already planned it, right? It's already there. Okay, it will going to take place for sure because it is a part of fixed timetable or a schedule. So speakers usually occasionally use simple present to talk about scheduled events in the near future. Point is वो जो near future है needs to be literally near future. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम कुछ 2-3 साल बाद की बात कर रहे हैं. It is supposed to be like very close to the present time, right? If it is a scheduled, if it is there in the fixed timetable और वो already pre-planned है, you will going to use simple present tense. Now, the train arrives tonight at 6 p.m. Right? So this is for sure. You will not going to say the train will arrive tonight at 6 p.m. because the arrival of the train is fixed. टाइम टेबल वो जो चार्ट होता है ट्रेन का वो ऑलरेडी बन चुका है एंड द ट्रेन विल बी देयर tonight at 6 p.m. or maybe it's like evening 6 p.m. Okay, the seminar begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that is like a fixed schedule. It will going to take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. राइट, ये फिक्स टाइम टेबल की बात हो रही है. When does dance class begin tomorrow? So you, I mean, वो already schedule हो चुका है, but still you have serious doubts that at what time it will going to begin. All right, in all those cases, you will going to use simple present tense. So what all we know, हम जब किसी हैबिट, हॉबी या कोई भी एक scheduled event है या फिर हम किसी भी scientific fact और general truth की बात कर रहे हैं, we have to use simple present tense. Sorted? अभी तक सब समझ में आ रहा है? If you still have any doubts, you can write in the comment box. The simple present tense is used in exclamatory sentences starting with here and there. So agar there's an exclamatory sentences, you know exclamation mark, right? But they are supposed to begin with here or there. In those scenario also you will going to use simple present tense. Are we clear? The simple present tense is used in exclamatory sentences starting with here or there. Now, here comes the bus. Comes, right? What it says, here comes the bus. There goes the bell. So comes and goes, they are what? Simple present tense. They are the base form of the verb, right? So here comes the bus. We have used the exclamation mark and it is starting with here. There goes the bell. So again we have got an exclamation mark there and then we are going to use simple present tense with here and there or other last में exclamation marks है. So we will going to use simple present tense. To express natural qualities, processes and professional activities. आप कोई भी किसी भी natural quality की बात कर रहे हैं, right? For example, lemon के अंदर citric acid होता है. So in that scenario, you will going to use simple present tense. We will check in the examples. Wait. हम कोई भी process के बारे में बात करें. Let's just say if you have checked out all those cookery shows, right? If you have read any of the recipe books, उसमें भी लिखा होता है like put the pan on the stove, add water to it, turn on the stove, boil it, right? So you will going to use simple present tense and with professional activities also. Now, fruits contain lots of minerals and vitamins. So that is like the natural quality of fruits. You can't change it, right? And it's a general fact also, isn't it? And it is talking about the natural quality of the fruits, right? A dentist takes care of teeth. So that is the professional activity done by any of the dentists. तो हम कभी भी किसी प्रोसेस के बारे में बात करेंगे या फिर हम कभी किसी नेचुरल क्वालिटी के बारे में बात करेंगे और otherwise we will going to talk about any of the professional activities, we will going to use simple present tense. Okay, now so that was all about simple present tense. If we are talking about hobbies, habits or a scheduled event, right? Along with that, वो scheduled event में it is a proper timetable for it. हम किसी भी professional activity के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, हम किसी भी natural quality के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं या फिर हम कोई process show कर रहे हैं. Let's just say a process of give me an example, photosynthesis, right? So वो पूरा process होता है. All right. For example, rain कैसे form होती है? There's a proper process for it. So in all those cases, you will going to use the simple present tense. Along with that, we have also checked that we have to use simple present tense with here and there, right? With if they are having exclamation mark also. All right, that was all we have studied, right? We have already discussed each one of it in detail. Now it's time to discuss with present continuous tense. Continuous, right? Continuous कोई भी activity है which is taking place, so we have to use ing form of the verb to express an action taking place at the time of speaking. In the present time, like I am speaking, और तभी के तभी कोई एक action भी हो रहा है साथ में. This tense suggests that the action is not yet finished. अब वो जो action हो रहा है वो present time में start हुआ और वो अभी तक finish नहीं हुआ है. I mean, somebody is knocking at the door. Okay, yeah. So somebody is knocking at the door. So knocking, this activity is taking place right now also. Okay, is not yet finished. That we are in the middle of the action and that person is still knocking. So we are in the middle of the action. वो action अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ है, वो अभी ही start हुआ है, and you are there, you are in between that action we're talking about it, right? While speaking, that action is still taking place. हम जब बात कर रहे हैं तब भी वो action हो रहा है. The girls are dancing. So for example, you are watching a television show and the girls are dancing there, right? So the girls are dancing. जब आप मुझे ये बता रहे हैं, I'm just asking like, what are you doing? What are you watching there on the television? You're telling me that the girls are dancing there on the show. So while telling me, right, while you're telling me the whole situation, the girls are still dancing there, or he is watching television. So this person is watching television right now also, right? While I'm just, for example, two of us are talking and you just ask me, what is he doing? And I'm telling you, he's watching television. So while two of us are talking, हम दोनों भी जब बात कर रहे हैं, तब भी that person is still watching television. Make sense? Are we clear? Okay. Someone is knocking at the door, as I've already told you. So, for example, I am teaching, right, and somebody just shows up here, and that person is knocking at the door. So, while speaking, while we guys are talking, किसी ने आके somebody has knocked, right? So, while speaking, the action is taking place. Are you trying this question? Right? So you are asking the other person, you're peeping into the answer sheet, or maybe, somebody is trying to solve a mathematical question. So you're simply asking, are you trying this question? Although he is doing it, he's in the process of doing it, but still you ask that person. Okay? To express a temporary action which may not be happening at the time of, it could be temporary action which we are talking about, but there are slightest of the chances that that activity is not taking place at least at the time of हम जब बात कर रहे हैं तब वो एक्टिविटी शायद नहीं हो. Okay, these days we are looking for a new shop. So this is a continuous activity you are doing, right? This action, like looking for a new shop, ये आप कर रहे हैं बहुत regular. But आप जब ये मुझे बता रहे हैं, maybe you are not doing it that particular time, right? These days we are looking for a new shop. So so like from 1st of September, you have decided to look for a new flat to live, like to move into, right? So आपने वो process start कर दिया है already, and you are telling me like at just say 1st of September को शाम को 9 बजे, रात को 9 बजे, that you are not, these days we are looking for a new flat. But while telling me, आप तब नहीं check कर रहे हो new flat. Some activity which has already been started, but while speaking, it is not taking place. We are looking, right? All the buses are arriving late, right? It says all the buses are arriving late. So they have not arrived yet, but they are running late already, right? All the buses are arriving late, or in fact, they have just arrived, or they are in the process of arriving. I am reading Romeo and Juliet. So I just asked you, like, what are you reading these days? Right? And you just told me that I'm reading Romeo and Juliet these days. So this activity has started, right? But at least when two of us are talking, you are not reading Romeo and Juliet that time. Okay? Fixed arrangements for the future. Now there's a very particular chance. ओके हमने सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस में क्या बात किया था दैट इट्स अ फिक्स्ड अरेंजमेंट इन अ वे लाइक वो फिक्स शेड्यूल पे होने वाला है और वो फिक्स टाइम टेबल का पार्ट है राइट बट यहाँ पे एक अरेंजमेंट हुई है व्हिच विल गोइंग टू टेक प्लेस इन द फ्यूचर राइट okay there's although this is also fixed but that is in that scenario the possibility of taking place of actually falling at the right place is really high in comparison to this particular situation. I am going to meet him after work. So you have made an arrangement. You have planned your future just for this particular time. राइट फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइम अभी के लिए ही आपने ये प्लान किया है ये फिक्स शेड्यूल का पार्ट नहीं है ये आप रोज प्लान नहीं करते हो राइट दिस इज नॉट एन एक्टिविटी विच टेक्स प्लेस रेगुलरली राइट सो विच इज it is about a fixed arrangement for the future but for this particular day maybe okay I am going to meet him after work we are going to shop after work right so herein you have made an arrangement for the future. Now we talk about temporary events. कोई भी एक एक्टिविटी है बट वो टेम्पररी है he is living in Delhi for the moment. वो अभी अभी दिल्ली में रह रहा है वो उससे पहले नहीं रह रहा था शायद right he is living in Delhi for the moment he is there in Delhi for a moment he's living there I mean that is a temporary event for sure he might I mean like there are highest chances there are like greater possibility that he will move back or anything can happen but for the particular time like at least for a time being which is a temporary event that he's living there he's putting up there in Delhi. Now to complain or emphasize continuous behavior with words like always forever and constant हम कभी भी if we are using if we are actually let's just say complaining about something or if we want to put more emphasis on something on somebody's behavior right और जहाँ पे आप use कर रहे हैं always forever and constantly you will going to use present continuous tense right when you are complaining about something when you are emphasizing about the it's like somebody's behavior and that is something which bothers you a lot okay so that time you will going to use present continuous tense you are always leaving your racket on the floor let's just say the coach just scolded you and he just telling you about the activity he's complaining about a behavior right how I mean why are you leaving your racket on the floor every day so that is like an activity which you always which is like part of you now when somebody is complaining right and you have to emphasize like you are always leaving your racket on the floor so that time with words like always forever and constantly we're going to use present continuous tense with words like always forever and constant okay now it's a simple chart wherein we have discussed about simple present में हम play का कैसे use करेंगे with all types of pronouns and the same we're going to apply with present continuous. I play, I am playing. You play, you are playing. He, she, it play, he, she, it is playing. We play, we are playing. You play, you are playing. Okay? They play, they are playing. So we have to use is MR with ing form of verb to make it to make it to fall under the category of present continuous tense. Now, another important thing in the beginning of the session only, I have told you that there are two types of verbs and they are action verbs and the second one are non-action verbs. Now let's check them individually. An action verb is used to describe an action that is performed. Action verbs can be used in simple, perfect and progressive, that is continuous tenses. Most of the verbs we are action verbs. So basically, action verbs क्या होते हैं? These are the verbs which can be used in simple, perfect or continuous tenses, and most of the action verbs are basically, the most of the verbs are actually the action verbs, right? Now, words like read, reading, right, has read, writing, write, write, wrote, written, right, make. When you are okay, action verbs basically क्या हुए जिसमें some of the activities be done. कोई एक action हो रहा है. Are we clear? जहां पे कोई भी एक action हो रहा है, आप actually कोई activity कर रहे हो. आपका like you are involved some way or the other, wherein your whole body is involved, you are doing something, आप एक action कर रहे हो, आपसे एक movement हो रहा है, that time they all are called as action verbs. For example, read, write, make, cook, listen, create, drive, watch, see, do, right? So these all verbs are action verbs, जहाँ पे आप कुछ एक activity कर रहे हो and that is being done there. Non-action verbs. So, non-action verbs are used to describe states, senses, desires, possession, emotions, and opinions. Right? So, what are non-action verbs? Non-action verbs are used to describe states, senses, desires, possession, emotions, and opinions. Right? So, non-action verbs are not used in continuous tenses. और हम नॉन एक्शन वर्ब्स को कभी भी ing फॉर्मेट में जनरली यूज नहीं कर सकते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लाइक, love, want, believe, remember, taste, need, belong, seen, own, hear, see. So these all are basically non-action verbs which talks about our own mental state. जो हमारे senses की बात करते हैं, हमारे desires की बात हो रही है, हमारे possession, like if we hold something, हमारे emotions और हमारे opinions की बात हो रही है, wherein we are actually physically, I mean ये सब हमारी एक these are all like abstract things, right? Otherwise whatever we do, they all are activities, actions are involved into it. Okay, now we can use action verbs with continuous tenses. For example, present continuous. Do not use action verbs with continuous tenses. Here's an example. I am liking this pizza. Right? I am liking this pizza. To like is a state verb, not an action verb. When you like something, right? आपने कोई activity तो उसमें करी नहीं है. Are we clear? Wherein we are not doing any of the activity in particular, right? That is the state of our mind. Make sense? When we are, what are non-action verbs? Which talks about opinions, beliefs, ideas, or state of mind, feelings, right? Emotions. So that is your liking for pizza. I am liking this pizza is basically a non-action verb, right? Not an action verb and does not happen. It cannot be continuous. So you like or you don't like something. I like this pizza is correct. I mean, this activity is, I mean, we generally say this, I'm liking this pizza, but that is actually wrong. All right, that we cannot say. Because you like something or you don't like something, it changes with time. Along with that, that is a non-action verb. I like this pizza is correct. All right, now, I am not believing you. It says, I am not believing you. To believe is a state verb, not an action verb. When you believe something, right? We already know this is an action, this is a state verb, और ये कोई एक action verb नहीं है. It cannot be continuous. You believe or you don't believe. आप या तो believe करते हो या नहीं believe करते हो somebody or something. I don't believe you is correct. When you say I don't believe you, that is for sure is the correct way to say about the word believe. I mean, we cannot say I am not believing you. That is grammatically incorrect. All right. Now, Verbs which have both action and non-action forms. Some verbs can be used as action or non-action verbs depending on their meaning. हमको उनके meaning पे decide करना होगा, right? To think means to believe or to have an opinion. या तो you believe something और आपका किसी चीज में you have an opinion. In this sense, it is a clear example of non-action verb. अब आप कुछ सोचते हैं, that is completely your view, right? I mean, that is something which you are having an opinion about something, right? I think he is American. So that is your view. You believe, you think this way, right? Not I am thinking he is American. ये आपका एक ओपिनियन है, राइट? यू थिंक दैट ही इज एन अमेरिकन. What do you think about my plan? Right? You are asking about somebody else's view. Like, what do you think about my plan? Right? Not what are you thinking about my plan. Although हम ये बोलते हैं, but which is like totally wrong. Alright? However, to think can also mean to consider. अब दूसरा तरीका क्या है to think word use करने का? That you are considering something. And that is an action you perform. अगर आप कोई चीज consider कर रहे हो, that means आपने एक action perform किया है. In this sense, to think is an action verb. I am thinking about buying a car, right? So that means you are okay. It's very simple. अगर आप वहां पे thinking की जगह पे considering use कर सकते हैं, so that ways you can use think as an action verb, right? You are planning, you are thinking to buy a new car. So I am thinking about buying a new car. To have can be used to talk about possession, and in this form is a non-action verb. हम जब किसी भी possession की बात करेंगे, so in that case we will going to use to have. In this form, the verb to possess can replace to have, right? Laura has a BMW or Laura possesses a BMW, right? We cannot say Laura is having a BMW. That is incorrect. Okay, when you possess something, you have to use the word possess. All right, they have a nice house. That is correct. Or they possess a nice house. We cannot say they are having a nice house, right? That is grammatically incorrect. All right. Now, the next tense is present perfect tense. All right. The present perfect is formed from the present tense of the verb have and the past participle of a verb. Right. So, present perfect tense जो होता है वो form किया जाता है present tense of the verb have और past participle form of a verb with. Okay. Although हम एक present tense की बात कर रहे हैं, but we have to use E in present perfect tense. There will be a subject, have or has, depending on the subject, main verb plus past participle form of the verb. For example, eat, ate, eaten, fall, fell, fallen, feed, fed, fed. So we have to use the past participle forms of the verb. So extreme right में लिखे हैं, हमें वो use करने हैं. Feel, felt, felt. Fight, fought, fought. Find, found, found. Fit, fit, fit. Right? Fit का तीनों form में ही we will going to use fit. Okay? Flee, fled, fled. It says flee, fled, fled. Fling, flung, flung. Alright? It says fling, flung, flung. Fly, flew, flown. Fly, to, torn. Forbear, forbore, foregone. Forbid or forbid or forbid or forbidden. Right? So this is the table wherein you can use the base form of the verb and the past tense or the past participle. But as I've already told you, with present perfect tense, we have to use subject plus have or has plus main verb plus the past participle form of the verb. Now, I have asked my friend to loan me some money. right? It says, I have asked my friend to loan me some money. He had saved enough money to buy a house. Says he has saved enough money to buy a house. Now, we use present perfect tense to express an action that has just been completed or to indicate that the action is completed in the recent immediate past. कुछ देर पहले ही वो एक्टिविटी खत्म हुई है या फिर the action has just been completed. वो एक्शन या तो थोड़ी देर पहले खत्म हुआ है या फिर वो कुछ देर पहले ही खत्म हो चुका था. Now, Priya, have you heard from boss? Tanya, I have got a message from him. He has just gone outside, right? So, like few minutes back only, he has just left. Okay, he has just gone outside. Rule 2. We also use it to express an action completed sometime in the past. हमने ये चीज तो पहले वाले रूल में भी पढ़ लिया था, बट लिंक्ड विद द प्रेजेंट. बट उसका जो लिंक है वो प्रेजेंट के साथ भी है. द एक्शन इन द पास्ट हैज अ रिजल्ट नाउ. और उसका लिंक कैसे है कि जो एक्शन हुआ था पास्ट में, लाइक यू हैव डन समथिंग, यू हैव लॉस्ट योर कीज. ओके, आई हैव लॉस्ट माय कीज. वो एक्टिविटी हुई थी पास्ट में, बट उसका रिजल्ट ये आ रहा है दैट यू आर अनेबल टू ओपन द लॉक ऑफ योर हाउस. Okay, now the traffic police have closed this road to heavy vehicles. So, what did the traffic police do? The traffic police have closed this road to heavy vehicles. So, heavy vehicles cannot move along this road now. So, traffic police, what decision they made? They made that they have closed this road. उसका result क्या आया? That on this particular road there will not going to be any of the heavy vehicles. What it says we also use it to express an action जो कि पास्ट में हुआ था बट उसका रिजल्ट अब आ रहा है. आर वी क्लियर? एक एक्टिविटी थी जो पास्ट में हुई थी बट उसका रिजल्ट अभी प्रेजेंट टाइम में आ रहा है. In that case, you will going to use present perfect tense. What did the traffic police do? They closed the road, right? और उसका effect क्या आया? Right? I mean, just because they closed the road, इस वजह से वहां पे अब heavy vehicles नहीं आ सकते. Now, Boris has eaten all the biscuits. So maybe Boris is a dog, okay? So Boris ने सारे biscuits खा लिए, which happened in the past और इसका result क्या हुआ? That nothing are left for. तो हमारी जो एक्टिविटी पास्ट में हुई थी हम उसके लिए यूज कर रहे हैं प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस. क्लियर? Something started in the past but is still relevant or is continuing up in the present moment. कोई भी एक्टिविटी पास्ट में हुई थी और उसका रेलेवेंस अभी तक भी है in the present moment, right? That time we will going to use present perfect tense. Now, I have known him for a long time. So you know this person पहले से, but this activity is still in the process. Present continuous में क्या हो रहा है कि वो activity चल रही है. Like you are doing it. I am writing a newspaper. I'm teaching you right now. I'm writing for a newspaper. I mean, I'm teaching right now. Right? We are discussing tenses right now. So that activity is actually happening. But in present perfect tense, that activity, that action has taken place long back और वो अभी तक continue हो रहा है as in उसका process अभी तक on है. Right? It is still living up till the present time. I haven't seen her for several months. So you weren't able to see her back in the months, and in the present scenario, you are unable to meet her yet. I mean, again, you're unable to see her. Now, for things happened in the past but is not important when it happened. So let's just say some of the activity has happened in the past but it is not important when it happened. उसका हमें ये जानने की जरूरत ही नहीं है कि वो कब स्टार्ट हुई थी. और in fact when time is not given and not definite. तो अगर केस ये भी हो सकता है that the time is not given, हमारे पास कोई टाइम भी मेंशन नहीं है और वो डेफिनेट टाइम का हमें कुछ आइडिया भी नहीं है। रिया एंड जेन हैव नोन ईच अदर फॉर एजेस। तो रिया और जेन एक दूसरे को बहुत ज्यादा टाइम से जानती है, right? So we don't know. Maybe they know each other since their childhood. Maybe they know each other in like recent past, but they know each other. I have never known him to be angry. जितना मैं उसको जानती थी, I have never known him that he is an angry soul. Right? So time is not definite और हमें time पता भी नहीं है. Or for things happen in the past, but it is not important when it happened. So I mean, we have got friends, right? We are like very good friends, and in that case, we are fine knowing each other. But हमें ये याद नहीं है कि I mean, in fact, I don't want to even tell you और मुझे खुद को भी याद नहीं है कि हम लोग कितने टाइम से friends हैं. Alright? We can use the present tense with just, already or yet. हम इन सब के साथ भी present tense का use कर सकते हैं. Now, the present perfect tense is used when talking about experiences from the past, a change or a situation that has happened in the past but is still continuing today. Right? This tense is an important part of English grammar since it demonstrates that actions or events in the past have an effect on the present situation. Something has happened in the past और उसका जो effect आ रहा है, that thing has affected us badly. और उसका कैसे भी like positive और negative जैसा भी effect आया है, but वो effect आया है present scenario में. Now, हम किसी भी न्यूज़पेपर के लिए लिखते हैं, so for example, और हमने कुछ भी आर्टिकल लिखा, लेट जस्ट से ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, so we were like chopping off the tree, right? और उसका रिजल्ट आ रहा है ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, right? Depletion of ozone layer. I mean, there are so many things. So the activities took place in the past, but उनका रिजल्ट, उनका इफेक्ट अगर अभी आ रहा है, then we have to write about it in the present perfect tense. Okay? Now, present perfect continuous tense, right? It talks about present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect continuous tense, also called as present perfect progressive tense, shows that something started in the past and is still continuing in the present time. तो एक एक्टिविटी पास्ट में स्टार्ट हुई थी और वो अभी तक चलती आ रही है. The present perfect continuous is formed using has or have been. Right? हमें has और have के साथ been लगाना है plus the present participle that is ing because continuous है, तो उसके लिए तो हम sure हैं कि हमें ing तो लगाना ही है. I have been reading War and Peace for a month now. So I mean it's a vast text, a huge text. So obviously you can't finish it up in a day, right? So you are doing an activity which you have this. I mean you have this person has started reading War and Peace, which is like an epic book, an epic novel by Russian author Leo Tolstoy, right? So I have been reading War and Peace for a month now. She has been waiting for you all day, and she's still waiting for you. I mean, she's still there and she's still waiting for. It is used when the result comes from the action itself. It doesn't matter if the whole action is finished or not. So it is actually used with the result, right? Or it is used with the result comes from the action itself. So it doesn't matter if the whole action is finished or not. So हमें ये फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता है कि पूरा action खत्म हुआ भी है या नहीं. The result is often something we can hear, see or smell. और वो जो result है वो ऐसा है that we can either see, we can hear or we can smell or we can see. Now, she has been cooking since morning. Doing this job, she's laboriously cooking for you. And because of that, you can, smell the delicious aroma of the food. Okay? Now, it's been snowing since last Friday. And this activity is still going on, and because of which there is snow on the road in the streets, right? So एक activity होती है that she's been cooking or it's been raining or it has been let's just say snowing. So उसका effect क्या आया, right? That there's an aroma in the house in the because of the food, or because of that there is water on the road, right? There is snow in the streets on the road. Now, Present perfect continuous in contrast with present perfect. It can be used to emphasize the length of time that has passed, right? It is generally neutral. For example, they have been waiting for hours. तो हमें यहाँ पे focus करना है length of time पे, that they have been waiting for hours. वो अभी तक भी wait कर रहे हैं. They have waited for hours. So यहाँ पे this doesn't emphasize on the length of time. We are emphasizing more on the that they have waited. But herein they have been waiting for hours. So this emphasizes on the span of time, length of time. Present perfect versus present perfect continuous. Present perfect is often used when we are talking about how much or how many. But this is definitely not possible when it comes to present perfect continuous tense. She has drunk 3 cups of coffee this morning, right? Or she has drunk at least a liter of coffee today. तो यहाँ पे हम present perfect tense में बता सकते हैं how much or how many, but we cannot say she's been drinking 3 cups of coffee this morning. This is super correct. I mean, this is impossible to say. This is grammatically incorrect. She's been drinking 3 cups of coffee this morning. The present perfect continuous versus the present perfect. It focuses on the action itself. हम present perfect continuous में किस चीज पे focus कर रहे हैं? On the action itself. It focuses on the fact that the action is complete. यहाँ पे हमारा focus है कि वो action क्या था? With present perfect continuous tense. हमें ये जानना है कि वो action क्या था, boss, right? Or present perfect talks about, it focuses on the completion of an action. We are just checking that the action is complete or not. Okay, I have been reading the book you recommended. So I am enjoying it, but I have not finished reading it. So it focuses on the action that I'm enjoying. I'm reading your book which you have given me. I have read the book you recommended. So I am done reading that book. We are talking about an action which is complete. Are we clear with this also? Right? With present perfect, we know that we are simply talking, our main focus is majorly on the completion of the action. But herein, okay, we are simply talking about the action itself. Now, present perfect continuous versus present perfect. Present perfect continuous is used when the result comes from the action itself. तो जो result आया है वो action से आया है. It doesn't matter if the whole action is finished or not. And it is, in fact, it doesn't even matter कि वो action जो है वो finish हुआ भी है या नहीं. Right? With present perfect, it is used when the action is finished. तो प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में यहाँ पे भी हमें पता चला था कि हमारा फोकस किस पे है? कंप्लीशन ऑफ एक्शन पे. इन द वेरी सिमिलर वे हियर आल्सो वी हैव गॉट more focus on the completion of the action, right? And along with that, our focus is like what result did we get out of it, and the result comes from the action being finished. और हमारा majorly focus है कि उसका result क्या आया, right? Whereas with present perfect continuous, it is used when the result comes from the action itself. It doesn't matter, मतलब हमें सिर्फ हम एक result के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, वो हमें ये फर्क भी नहीं पड़ रहा है कि वो action complete हुआ है या फिर नहीं. I have been baking a cake. That's why the kitchen is such a mess. So I am still in the process. I'm still doing it. And what am I doing? I am baking a cake. Right? So the result is what? That you are baking a cake. और उसका result क्या हुआ है? There's like a whole lot of mess in the kitchen. I have eaten dinner, so let's go out. So I am done with my dinner, right? I have done an activity. So now let's go out. Okay? So that was all about present tense. What all we have discovered, what all we know about present tense is that we have checked out, like all of us have dived deep into the topic, right? And we have checked out simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, and present perfect continuous tense. in what all situations जहाँ पे एक्शन स्टार्ट हो रहा है, जहाँ पे एक्शन कंप्लीट हो रहा है, हम हॉबीज की बात कर रहे हैं, हम हैबिट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, where exactly what sort of verb we are supposed to use when it comes to present tense. That all we have read. All right. So you can check out this video again and again, and I assure you that you will be super, super, super comfortable with this topic, right? So if you still have any doubts, kindly write in the comment box and I will try to answer them all. Another thing, as I've already told you in the beginning when I commenced with the session, that you have to download the app Unacademy because they will. I mean, all the educators are super supportive there. They will. I mean, they are actually working for your preparation of all sort of worksheets. That you will going to get sort of a lot and lot of questions. Right, you can ask any of those questions from them if you have doubts. There'll be live classes for that, so many things are lined up, right? They're like literally lined up for you. Only thing you have to do is download the app, and for that to get, if you want special discount. So for that you can use my code, that is AMBIKA. All right, with this I'm signing off. Please take good care.